Hi, I'm Benny the Jet. Urquidez, known as the Jet, and this is Kathy Long. Champion, but most of all, okay, not only champion, but in life itself. We've how far we go back, Nancy? I mean,
Yeah. Like the very
Kathy.
early, late 80s.
Yeah,
We go back to the late 80s.
that's true.
Yeah.
And uh, a lot of times, after most the fight, they give it up. It's like they're here and then they're gone. But the ones that true warriors that really took something from the art and walk and talk the art to this day, which I know you have, you took it from the championship fight. Do you remember when was the first time? We go back in the age, but the first time you fought.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
I was in Bakersfield, California, and there was a girl who competed in karate and kept challenging me to do point fighting against her.
Uh-huh.
Now, I had never done kickboxing at that point or point fighting, and I just kept saying, no, you want to fight, we'll go out back, we'll fight. And obviously she wouldn't do that.
Right.
So one day, her karate instructor called my kung fu instructor and asked if I'd be willing to do an exhibition kickboxing bout with his girl who had done kickboxing for 2 years.
Ah.
And it was the same girl. And I thought, okay, kickboxing. So I get to punch and kick her as hard as I want to. And
And I won't get disqualified.
exactly. My kung fu instructor said, yes, you get to do that. And I said, well, how long do we have? He goes, 10 days. And I said, it's on, let's do it. And I went to a boxing gym for 10 days and learned how to throw basic boxing punches. I'd been watching boxing all my life. My dad was a huge boxing
Right.
fan. But I'd never done it.
Uh-huh.
So all I knew is that I got to go in there and hit her as hard as I wanted to.
And nobody will stop you.
And nobody would stop me. And Peter Cunningham was my referee.
Uh-huh.
So at one point, I mean, the bell would ring after the first round, and I got up and I'm like, what are you sitting down for? What are you, chicken? Come on, let's keep fighting. I was scared to death. But I didn't want her to know that.
Of course not.
No, of course not. And at one point I had her in a headlock, and I'm punching her in the face as hard as I can. And Pete runs up to me, no, you can't do that. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know the rules.
You mean there's rules?
You mean there's rules?
No, man.
Yeah, that was my first fight.
On your journey in the fighting, when you start traveling, and you start actually understanding in kickboxing the rules, and obviously PK you can kick from the rules were kicking from the waist up. WK is you can kick low kicks, and then as you were going, when you took the title, what was your thinking and preparing, going for the title? What was your thoughts?
That's a good question. Are you talking about the first title or
No,
any of them?
No, the first one is always the one. And the rest of them, okay. I'm talking about
The first
when you're going for the title.
Yeah.
What you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're saying to yourself. What do the preparing is one thing, but internally,
Yes.
what was you thinking?
I'm the kind of person and fighter that deals with what's going on at the moment. I don't normally think ahead. My trainer did all of that. He was, oh, well, she's a southpaw, and she has a good this and a good that, so you really have to prepare and do it this way. But in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I'll deal with her when I get in front of her. And that's just the way I operate.
Right.
I deal with what's going on at the moment, because that's what's real, is what's going on at the moment.
That's right.
And 2 weeks before my world title fight, I broke my ribs. Danny Bam Bam Stell, Danny Hardesteel, you remember that kid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I haven't heard that name in a while.
He hit me with a spinning back kick here, and they hit me so hard that they broke in the back.
Wow.
The compression was so much. I thought, I didn't feel it because I had so much adrenaline pumping in me. It was 2 weeks before, and we were just starting to wind down our sparring.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in good shape. I've been running 10 miles. I've been sparring 15 rounds, jumping rope for 45 minutes at night, doing 1,000 push-ups a day. In my mind, I'm like, I'm good. I'm set. I've done everything I need to do. I've sparred with all the guys. I never had a female sparring partner. I've always sparred with men who were much more experienced than me, so they beat the shit out of me constantly. But I felt confident that, you know what, I've handled all this, I've come through, I have a really good chance of winning this title, and then I get my ribs broken.
So, having that
Mhm.
going into the fight,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts like? She's not going to touch it.
You know, I know that I'm one of those fighters that during the fight, I feel no pain. I don't feel anything during the fight. Sometimes I don't even feel myself getting hit. That's so much adrenaline pumping through me. So in my mind, I thought, well, I'm going to rely on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to rely on the fact that I won't feel any pain and I'll be fine. And I was set in my mind that that's what's going to happen.
So you know what? After all the titles and all that's been said and so forth, you know, a lot of fighters take the title and then they're gone. But I know you've taken the experience of not only the fight, but you have a knowing, and you actually used it in your life. Hey, and just talk about that. You know, that internal understanding from the fighting, and only having that title, hey, means the experience behind it. What made you actually turn in title and actually giving it back in the way you're doing it? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my coach slash kung fu instructor slash boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
was horribly, horribly, horribly abusive. I mean, he was so insecure and so jealous and so angry and so, he was a sociopath.
Mm.
And the entire time I was training for fights, he would beat the crap out of me and tell me I'm a worthless piece of shit and a 5-year-old can do what I can do, and on and on and on. But when I escaped that and I left it, I decided, okay, there are far too many people out there who need help, and I need to make sure that as somebody who's not only emotionally strong, physically strong, spiritually connected, I need to be somebody who can be a rock and a mentor for other people. And I just know that, you know, I escaped it. Nobody pulled me out of it, because I realized I had to do it myself. And that's, I
So
felt that other
basically,
people needed
what you're
the same.
saying, first of all, it's about you, and it should be about you, because that's the journey. The journey is about you,
Indeed.
as it is about me. But in that journey, it's like a roller coaster ride of emotions.
Yes.
The good, bad, and ugly. You
Yes.
know, and so
It is.
everybody does well going up, but going down, how well did you handle when things that you would trip or get knocked down and so forth? How emotionally did you handle that?
Well, I'll back up just for a second.
Sure.
When I was 10 years old, I drowned in a pool and I died. And I was dead for, technically, 4.5 minutes. But during that 4.5 minutes, it seemed like an absolute, I mean, I experienced many, many lifetimes during that 4.5 minutes. And I reconnected with Source, and I visited people that I had known in many other lifetimes on other planets, and, you know, experiences that I've had.
Right.
And it was a reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing that these are experiences I need to go through in this lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
because the soul wanted to experience it for its own growth and evolvement. So,
So just by what you said, you're saying that you have purpose this lifetime around on this journey, that you have purpose, that you came back again because you have purpose.
Correct.
Okay, on this journey here, and from many lifetimes and going back visiting all this experience, you actually, as they say, forget what you know, remember what you've forgotten. What
Yes.
you know is what you've been taught, but what you have forgotten sometimes is,
who you really are.
yeah, and
Yeah.
what you came in this world to do. So
Exactly.
obviously knowing that, that journey, saying, I know why I'm here. I remember why I'm here. So what we call the Koons of learning to heal the past, the things that we need to heal on this journey, we're healing them.
Yep, we
Did
are.
you do that?
I'm still doing it.
Okay. So
I'm
the
not
journey,
done.
so the journey is still there.
Yeah, it's
So
still there.
the Koons is what was actually mentioned in Israel saying that things that we need to heal, things that we need to transformate into the light, we come in this world with them, but sometimes we get reprogrammed and we forget
Yes.
why we're here. But then you, like you said, at 10, when you had died and you revisit past times and you came back, you had a chance to go back to your mother's womb
Yes.
in the beginning and come back to realize now I know why I'm here, regardless of all the wounds, what I call the woundology, where everybody that wounded you, lied you, cheated you,
Yeah.
you learn to heal those and move on.
Right.
So as you heal those and move on, we get a chance to actually really see about, okay, if I'm healing all these past lives, I'm healing all the things that I need to transformate into the light. And I have a good understanding right now, and I want to help the people that really need help. Because why? I recognize their pain. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
So you recognize it, and you're saying, well, it's not like you say, you need help, let me help you. It's not about you going out there reaching for people, but when you show up, Maker has a way of bringing people that are wounded, that, to you, that you can, instead of saying, you need help, it's not about that. It's about when people are asking for help, you can help. But if for instance, me, if you're trying to help me and I'm not asking for help, there's nothing you can do for me unless I'm asking for help.
Correct.
Because when I'm asking for help, I'm saying, can you give me some help? Because I want it.
Right.
But if I don't want that help, then no matter how clever you are, how sharp you are, I know I've been there. I see people in pain, this and that, but I said, if they're not asking,
Right.
I'm not offering. How about you?
Well, it's very much true in that, in a lot of what you explained. But as I go through life, there are people that I'll meet, and I've sometimes I feel it's a curse because I can look somebody in the eye, and if I look them in their left eye, I don't know what it is about the left eye or the right eye. Hello, Mike.
Well, at this point, it's not who's left is who's right, or who's
No,
not
it's their
who's right
eye,
is who's
yeah,
left.
Yeah, but I see them. I see whether they operate from their heart or and their God self, or they operate from their monkey man mind. And the hurt ones. I can't begin to explain how many people have come to me,
Yeah.
but they're just literally plopped in front of me in a lot of different ways. And I don't reach out. They just explain eventually what's going on with them and what they need and help. So I just know that as I'm continuing on in my journey, that the right ones will come to me, and I will come to the right ones who I need help from too.
How about the wrong ones that come to you?
The wrong ones come to me, but I also see it.
Yeah.
I see it, maybe not immediately, but I see it and I go, okay, this is not my place for them.
Or
Yeah.
they're not ready for you anyway, or
Boy.
that want to really want help. There are some that you find that, they ask your questions, they answer their own questions.
Yes.
And you're saying, well, you're going to invite me into your into your conversation, or
Right. This is
but
just a one-man conversation, okay.
that's it. But at this point in time in your life, do you know what you want?
Yes.
Or you're still on the journey?
No, I know exactly what I want, and I have what I want. I have
Okay.
everything I need,
There you go.
everything.
So knowing that you have everything you need, because obviously, riches, where people say, whoever came up with that, whoever dies with the most toys is a winner, and I said, you're
Yeah,
dead.
like, what are you gonna
dummy.
do, take it
What
with
does
you to
that
the
mean?
grave?
But the point I'm making is, when I leave this earth, my riches, my experience, and my knowing is my riches. And how about you? When you leave
When
this
I leave
earth?
this earth,
Again.
I want to be able to understand how many people I've been able to help. And it's a ripple effect. When I help someone, they help someone, and it continues on. And if I can help 100 people, those 100 people will help 100 more people each, which is
Somebody
1,000
once
people.
said to me, well, will you plan on saving the world? And I said, yeah, I am.
Absolutely.
And they said, how? I said, one person at a time.
Exactly.
And one person at a time, if I can help save, they will save somebody else, and it will be, as you said, a ripple effect.
Yeah.
All that matters is I'm in the moment of today.
Right.
They say, well, what about tomorrow? I said, when tomorrow comes, if my eyes open up, I'll
Be
be
in that
blessed with
moment.
another day. I'll be
That's
blessed with
right.
another day to do the things I love doing, or be with people I love being with.
Right.
So I can see that's where you're at this point in
Yeah,
time.
that's
And as being a champion, truly, not only, and it's not easy, being a champion as a woman warrior, but woman of the light means you can see in front, and I see that very clearly about you. That you can see clearly what's in front of you, and like I said, you don't need anybody's love to make you feel loved. Like I said,
don't.
you loved yourself.
Yes.
And that's important. Really truly important. So, the art of war, besides mental warfare, physical warfare, spiritual warfare, character war, you understand that very well in life. I can see that. So, for all the ones that are watching, all the viewers that are watching, just want you to know, and you heard it right from her, not from me, that, when people say, well, Kathy Long, I said, I do know her, but she is not a resume. I know what she's done, but to really know her is to really know her pains, her wounds, her deepest pain. But the only way I can go there is I have to earn her trust, because trust is not to be given, and she has to feel safe with me like anything else. So with that being said, all you watchers out there, you heard it from Kathy Long, the champion. Hey. Until we see you again.
Until we see you again.